Welcome to another workshop for Southern Savannah. Today we're doing maintenance. We're going to train you on how to do the basics on maintenance and how to change printer heads, clean your encoder strips, dampers, the basic inking system of a machine. Things that a basic operator on a machine should know so that you don't really have downtimes on things that are not major on your machine. All right. Now, we're dealing with maintenance. Sorry, my handwriting is not very Picasso-like. But here's the concept, guys. This is a very straightforward workshop. The point of today is we're not training you to be technicians, but we're training you to do the basic things that, number one, they make your machine parts last longer when you know how to maintain. And basic things of how to figure out where the problem is. So you may not be able to fix it, but at least as a machine operator or owner, you're supposed to be able to know how to fix the basic problems on a machine, right? How to find out, is it my head which is a problem? Or is it my ink which is a problem? Is it pipes? Is it dampers? Basic things like that. According to how we're going to do this today, the most important thing we're going to tackle today is the inking system, right? The inking system is basically, when we talk about maintenance, that's the key thing. Maybe you guys can help you. What components constitute of the inking system? I'll start with the basics. I start with the tank, right? Which, when I say tank, I automatically mean ink as well. From here, let's hear from you guys. What else comes after the tanks? Pipes. Before pipes, there's a crucial thing we're going to learn about today, which if you don't put on your machines, there are other things like blockages that you will be fighting with constantly. What would be, from my tank, the ink is going to get into a pipe, yes, but there's a small buffer that I need to put before the ink moves all the way to the head. What is it? Ever heard of something like the filter? Exactly. These are crucial components. You need to know how exactly. That's the next thing. Larry, you might need to put 4 filters on each machine as well. You did. All right. After filters, what else is important? This is the flow. It's important for you to understand this so that you know how to diagnose your machine. Your ink comes from the tank, passes through the filter, through the pipes. Where does it go next after this? Dampers. My guy, are we together? All right. Dampers. Okay. From dampers, where do we go? To the head. I'll call it pH, which is your print head. From the print head, where do we go? Sorry? Cap. Exactly. From the print head, we go to the cap. From the cap, where do we go? Mm-hmm. So if you know these components, you'll be able to do your own machine service. And when we do service, these are just basic things. You just need to understand how the inking system moves. So ink comes from the tank. Picture it this way. You operate a machine every day, right? Or basically, in a sense. You haven't started. All right, cool. That's fine. So ink comes from the tank and you filter that ink. It goes through the pipes. Maybe I didn't write pipes here. Yeah. So from the tanks to the filter pipes, gets into the dampers. From the dampers, it goes into your head. From the head, it comes to the printed cap. From the cap, it goes to the pump, because the pump is the one that connects to the cap so that you can suck the ink. So from here, we come to the pump. And from the pump, we end at the waste ink bottle. This is the basic inking system of a machine. There could be some ins and outs depending on the type of machine we're using. If you have DTF, you have sub-tanks that contain white and stuff like that. But this is the basic flow here. When you call us to do service, the things that we change are the things here. Are you with me? When we say, you understand, when we say machine service, we don't mean that the machine is dead. Machine service simply means I am maintaining my machine. When you take your car for service, it doesn't mean that it's dead. It just means you have to change your air filter, stuff like that. So basically, when we do machine service, which are the things we're going to tackle today, you look at, the first thing we look at, of course, we look at the tanks. Do you have ink in your tanks? Is it clean ink? Is your ink expired or not? Is it fine? Number 2, we look at your Filters. First thing we change. Replace your filters. Pipes we don't change regularly, but we do check them as well. Next thing is dampers. So crucial components that you budget for a service. Your filters, your dampers. Printhead, it's a give or take. It depends on what head you're using. If you're using heads like XP600, your lifespan on this thing is anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 square meters SQM. In terms of time, you're looking at maybe 6 months to a year for an XP600 printed, depending also on the ink that you are using. This is important to know. If you have a sublimation machine, your printed will last longer. Or a DTF machine. Why? Because this is water-based ink. So what that means is this ink is not corrosive as much. If I spill sublimation ink here, I can take a cloth and a cleaning liquid and I can wipe it off. If I spill eco-solvent ink and it stays, it's a bit hard to clean off. I will now need solvent cleaner to clean it. It means that ink is a bit stronger. So if I have a sublimation, a dye subhead, sublimation or DTF textile, my head can even go up to 12 months. Give or take, it can still go for less. But given that my power is stable, I have a voltage regulator, ideally I should be able to go for about 12 months. If I have an eco-solvent head, sorry about this, let's see. If I have an eco-solvent head, anywhere in the range of 8 months, or I say 6, I'll just say 8 months to about a year as well, right? If I have a UV head, I'll be very honest with you, anywhere from 4 months, I'll start budgeting to buy another head. But I'll put it on 6 months so that whoever sees this video doesn't worry so much. But the point is, this is 6 months to maybe a year. Everything I'm saying here, you can still go for longer or shorter, but these are the ideal timelines that you work with for an XP600 head. Because it's a disposable head, it's an entry-level print head, right? You can come in, son. How's it going? You all right? We are just finishing up, so I don't know if you No, man, I'm kidding. We just started. You have UV, and so the stronger the ink, the lesser the time your printhead lasts. Are we together? So of these, the strongest being the UV, echo, then to the water-based ink, to the sub. If I have another type of head, let's say an I3200 printhead, right? An I3200 printhead will actually last for longer, because in as much as it's still a disposable printhead, but it lasts a bit longer, it's a bit stronger. So what I'll know is with an I3200, I can go for maybe 2 years or so with one head without any issues. It prints faster, it's better quality, but the price range is about 3 times or 4 times the price of an XP600 printed. So the choice is mine. I need to understand when I'm buying a machine, which machine should I buy? So we are talking about the maintenance of like what we're going to do today. We want to teach you to be able to service your own machine. So the key thing we're talking about is your inking system, which comprises of these components. So we're talking about the things we change when you do your maintenance, all right? So we talked about tank, filters, dampers, printhead. So printhead we only change if and when there's a problem. You can call us for service or you can do your own service, even when the head is not yet there. Because sometimes a decrease in performance on your machine is not because the printhead is dead. Normally that's people's go-to. My machine is not working, the head must be dead. Not really. Sometimes it could be the dampers that are the problem. Sometimes I've put the wrong ink, I've mixed it, it's blocked the filters, or maybe there are no filters. Then it's come all the way to the head and it's blocked my head. So number 3 is printhead, but it's a give or take. You don't always have to. But another crucial thing is the cap. The cap, the dampers, the filters, this we should be able to change. Mr. Bruce, how are you, sir? Very good. The cap, the dampers, the head. The cap, you're looking at, this is number 4. These are the key components that we change when we say you want to service your machine. Now let me bring us all to, there's some people who've just come in. We're talking about what we're going to, sorry, let me just reduce the volume for that speaker there. Are you able to just kill the volume for that speaker a little bit? Okay, great. So we're just talking about the key components that entail of a machine service. I'll remind you, we are not training you to be full-blown technicians. We are happy to do that, but that's not today's reason. Today's workshop is for you to be able to do your own machine service, basic service, to be able to do basic troubleshooting. Sometimes it's 10 p.m. and you guys are running 24-hour jobs sometimes, and you are down. What do I do? Where do I start? We're showing you how to be able to find out, is it my head that's the problem? Is it dampers? Is it cap and all of that? Or I just want to do a basic machine service. Maybe you are far and the technician is charging you 2K, 3K to come through. There are basic things you can be able to do for yourself. That's what we're touching on today. Are we together? So I've explained the basic inking system. I've talked about the parts which we normally deal with, which normally break down when we do service. Filters, dampers, cap. Those are the key things. Printhead is if and when it is damaged. Does anyone have a question on the components here on the inking system? We're going to do a lot of practical today. So before we go for the practical, I want us to make sure we've understood this part. Anyone has an issue here? We're good? Are we sure? Very good question. You're going to see them there, but the filters basically come from when the ink leaves the tank through the part of the dampers. That's where the filters come in. So they should always be between the ink source and the dampers. Are we together? I know many people don't put filters for some reason. People forget, sometimes people don't know, but ideally filters are important. They are not a must. You can print without filters. But if ever anything happens, I've had situations where the client buys the wrong ink and they put it, or the operator puts it by mistake. You're going to save yourself. Imagine you have an i3200 head which goes for about 23,000, and then you put the wrong ink. If you had filters, it was going to be as simple as simply emptying that and changing that, and just changing the filter and emptying that ink. But if you did not have a filter, you've lost the head, because a blockage, like mixing sublimation and eco-solvent, it forms such a thick clot that you can't even take it out of the head. So things like these are crucial for your machines. Your heads actually last longer because they don't block as often. Yeah? Question?
I think that remember that's when I had to buy the filter.
You didn't know about filters.
Last time when I put GTF inside because of then my head would block.
Then your head blocked, yes.
That's when I found the idea of filters.
100%.
The other thing I wanted to ask, those things that you mentioned, do they have a time frame of when we can or are supposed to change them?
Yes, they do. They do and they don't, depending on whether, I'm not supposed to say this, depending on whether you're black or white. For black people, it's when they're dead. When they're done. Sorry, I'm kidding. But here's the catch. Ideally, we look at two things. We look at the type of ink you are using, and we also look at the type of quality you're looking for. Has my quality declined? So, for me to explain this, I need you to understand. Did you understand the time frames I put for heads? You understood them? If you have an entry-level head like an XP600 printhead, and you're using sublimation ink, it's going to last for longer or shorter than someone with an eco-solvent. What's your take there? Okay, disregard that I wrote XP600. If I have sublimation ink and another guy has UV ink, whose heads last longer? Sublimation. Why? The ink is water-based, so it's not as corrosive as UV. These are the two extremes. Right in the middle is the eco-solvent guy. Right, so that's number one to understand. That applies to the parts as well. Guys with sublimation or water-based ink, your dampers, ideally, you're looking at, normally we change them once a year. About every 6 months we change. We don't change them because they're dead, or I'm sorry, they're damaged. But we change them normally to keep, do you understand the role of a damper? The role of a damper is to, Larry, can I just get dampers and filters, just the parts we're talking about so people can see? They are called gravity dampers. The role of a damper is to breathe. That's what allows the head to spray the ink. So a damper, you see when it comes with a sample now, if you push it in, you will see that when the head prints, it sucks the ink. So the damper pushes in, and the moment it tries to open up, is now pulling ink from the tank. Can I? You can give everybody a piece, I guess. Thanks. Right. Here you can have a damper. If you, the fluid, yeah, we're going to use them anyway. Yeah, you can open them if you want to. Here are dampers. Let me just explain that. I know most of you know this stuff already, but I just want you to understand more so that when we do the practical, we are all on the same page. A damper, I know you've seen so many different shapes. You've seen the thin, long ones. You've seen the other ones they call regular dampers, which are just like rectangular. Rectangular in a sense. This is a basic non-reverse damper, right? You buy from different suppliers. Some will call them premium, some will call them what? Those are just terms that people use in-house. But ideally, they're called non-reverse dampers. Why? Because they don't allow for ink to flow back. What I mean is if I try and suck the ink here, if it's capped, it's not going to go back. Why would ink go back? If the tank is empty, ink goes back. Did you guys know that? If the tank is ink, which is very little, ink either runs to the head or flows back. So these prevent that. Right. Now, the concept of a damper is it has this part here, which if you push in, it's like a breathing mechanism. It's like a lung. And that's the concept when it's printing. Now, on the tip here, on the orifice, you see that there's a rubber seal. The part that actually wears out on a damper is this rubber seal here, because that's the part which you plug into the printhead. So the more ink stays on this rubber seal, the more it's not a tight sealing. And because it's not sealing tightly on the head, you start getting a bit of air into your head. And some ink starts clotting a little bit. And that's what causes your dampers to wear out because of. So if I have sublimation ink, it's going to take more time for that to happen. If I have eco-solvent ink, it's going to take a medium amount of time. If I have UV ink, it's going to take a very short time for this rubber here to be chowed by the ink. Do I make sense? Are we together? Okay, so the whole idea here is your dampers, if it was UV, of course, I wouldn't be using these dampers. Same damper, but it would be black. You understand why? Because UV ink is ultraviolet ink. It's supposed to be UV resistant. So anytime it reacts with ink, it will dry up. So I can't use this damper for UV because it's clear. I need something that blocks out UV rays, which is something that blocks out the light. So these are for eco-solvent and sublimation and DTF, the textile one. So this is your damper. You're looking at the time frames. Basically, we look for about every 6 months we do service, which does not mean that it can't wake up in 6 months. It can and it will most of the times. But if you want your quality to be better, your damper always needs to have a tight seal on the printhead. So the more ink is chowing this rubber part here, the less tight the seal is. And the less tight your seal is, the more overspray you're getting, and your quality goes down. And also, the more clots are able to happen, which allows your printhead to actually go out faster. Did I explain it a bit clearly? All right, great. Are we sure we got that part? We did? All right, great. And you guys have seen the filters, right? You have filters with you? You saw it? Yeah. You can open it if you want to check it out. You can, yeah. Exactly. Okay. So the filter is a basic component. It has a mesh inside that is able to filter the ink. It has an inlet side and an outlet side. Ink comes from the inlet side and then goes out to the outlet side, depending on where your ink is coming from. If you have tanks at the top, there are some machines with the bulk inks and tanks at the bottom, right? Then there's some machines with inks at the top and then cartridges, and then it goes to the dampers. You guys understand the difference? If you guys have seen it, I would prefer, we here at Southern Savannah would prefer that your filters always come from the final ink source before the dampers. So we don't put our filters from the tank at the top. We put our filters from the cartridge straight to the dampers because that's the final outlet for ink. Are you with me? So if any clots happen, you guys do understand that if you don't shake your inks, you may have never noticed it, but ink settles at the bottom. If you just leave ink here, at some point, if it's not being shaken, it separates a bit and it starts clotting. That's why at the bottom of your ink tank, it's always harder to clean. It's like there's a paste there, there's a layer there. And that's what filters help avoid. They avoid that clot going to your printhead. Okay? Cool, you can have it. So that's that. And then, of course, the final thing we talked about would be the cap. The cap is the one that seals the head. The cap itself has a rubber part. And the point of the rubber part is simply to make sure that it seals the head and it gives a vacuum seal on the printhead. And what also wears out on the cap is the rubber part. And the concept remains the same. For UV inks, the caps will wear out faster than for eco-solvent, than for sublimation. If I explain it clearly. Please, guys, you paid money. Let's understand each other. Did we get it? So these are the core components, and that's what we're going to do there. We're going to change all of these, and you're going to see, to do it practically, you're also going to change your own print heads, just for you to be able to do it thoroughly, to pull ink from the dampers and make sure that you get a tight pull. How do you know if my damper is having a problem? When you're pulling ink, is the ink going back? Is it not? You're going to do that practically. But for now, I want us to understand the theoretical part of everything we're saying. Are we good? Okay, wonderful. Let's see what everyone has here. Which machine have you used before?
No, I just got it.
Okay, you just got a new machine. Good. What machine is it? AM. Okay. Which brand is it? I mean, sorry, which printhead is it?
It's
sublimation. Sublimation. Great. You sir? Yeah. Okay, cool. I know this is sublimation. That's fine. So I'll have this other guy has equal solvent. That's fine. So we're going to go that side and we're going to start the practicalities. No one has a question for this? Yeah.
You spoke about the heads when it prints. You say it pushes inside because there's ink that's left, right? And then when it's coming out like that, it means it's now pulling from the tank.
Yes.
I just want to understand, because I've always been asking myself, what mechanical process is happening inside the head that is pulling the ink and spraying?
Very good question. So you have this guy here, the pump, right? The pump is not involved in printing, but it is the first thing we talk about when I talk about pulling ink. The pump is involved only in cleaning, right? So when I'm cleaning my head, the pump, which is attached to the cap, pulls the ink forcefully, basically. That is the only time that I forcefully pull ink from all the way from the tank through the dampers using the pump. That's the ink you see going into the waste ink bottle. You see that when you're doing a pump, you see ink supposed to drip into that waste bottle. But the head itself has a circuit board inside. You guys have ever heard of the term piezoelectric? This, I think it's a PIEZO electric, right? When we say a head is gone electronically, what we mean is there's a chipboard inside the head, which is when electricity is there, there's a bit of force that it applies on things when you apply electricity on the print head. So the whole point is that ink is seated inside the head diaphragm. And then when you put electricity on the print head, those piezoelectric whatever connections which are there, they allow for the ink they open up the nozzles, and then it allows the ink to spray. So they are basic pumps, but they are in a very miniature scale. They are very, 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 very tiny, and they are the ones which actually allow the ink to be pulled. But they are not pulling heavily. That's why you find out heads have what we call voltages. If you increase the voltage when you print it, you see that it prints deeper. It prints deeper color. I don't know if you've ever seen that. If you reduce the voltage, it prints a faint color. That's the whole point. And when we say a head is dead or a head is finished, what we mean is that mechanism which you are applying voltage to, the piezoelectric mechanism, is now worn out. That's how a head dies. It's now worn out because it's been doing it. It's been, and as any mechanical company, at some point it gets tired. And that's what that. So that chip on inside there is what is that piezoelectric system. It's basically the piezoelectric valves. Basically, that's what it is. That's what allows it to give you a print. So all it's doing is the moment you run voltage when you send a job, it starts. That's why you hear the sound. If you guys have ever heard it when you're printing or when you're cleaning, there's a sound that it makes. That's the sound of those valves running. After cleaning, it's flashing. So flashing is the same thing as printing. It's just that it's when it's flashing, the only way. If you're running low passes, but then when you're printing, it's very. So that's the whole concept there. And an entry-level head like an XP600 has a weaker, has a system, an electric system there that is not as strong as on a printer like an i3200, which is also not as strong as other types of heads which are called heavy industrial heads like Ryko printheads, which are going for like 50,000, 60,000 rands a piece. A head like that is a lifetime head. That one doesn't even use a piezoelectric. It uses another system above this, which does not wear out basically. So you can have your head for 10 years because it's an entirely. It doesn't even need to cap. It's an entirely different system. That kind of system. But that's the whole basic part of it. I know I may not have gone too much in depth, but did I make it a bit clear?
I have a lot of questions around this.
Okay, go on.
I just want to understand. This is what I'm doing, but I just want to understand.
Okay.
Because the other thing when you were explaining, it was making sense in my head. But still on the head,
right?
This piezoelectrical circuit board.
Yeah.
Is it there to just open valves so that ink flows out somehow, or is putting pressure? So
it's putting pressure. It's putting pressure.
So in the process of putting pressure, that's when the valves open.
That's when the valves open, yes. And then it prints. That's why you see that when you flush, you actually see ink going, spraying forcefully. And depending on the voltage you're putting on your head, if you have very high voltage, the spraying is even more forceful. That's the whole point of when you say head voltage is all of that. And remember, a head that you're running on very high voltage will last not as long as a head that you're running on low voltage. That's the whole point. Hello. My brother, how are you doing?
Are you well? Yeah, you look very nice.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Sort of the Printhead, which means if it sprays too much ink, it means the voltage is high.
The voltage is high. In two cases, there are two ways it can spray too much ink. The first way it sprays too much ink is when you're running high voltage, right? And then it's spraying a lot of ink. That's when we say the voltage is high. But then the other way you can go around it is making it print slower, so that it doesn't push the paper out too much. You can still be using a lower voltage, but if you guys have heard of 4 pass, 6 pass, go to 8 pass, and each of those
passes have a resolution. So basically what I mean, you may find something like maybe, let me use a red marker for this. Maybe what you may see is a 6 pass, and then you come to a 3 pass. I'll just use this two. There are so many others in between. But a 6 pass will probably have a resolution like maybe 360 multiplied by 1800 dpi. And then a 6 pass will have a resolution like 360 multiplied by 720 dpi. So the whole point here is, we call this X and Y axis. What we mean is, if it was pushing the paper, maybe it was pushing 10 millimeters, then the head runs. Pushes the paper another 10 millimeters, then the head runs. On 3 passes, it would be able to do a 10-meter job, let's say in an hour. But when I come to 6 passes, it's not pushing 10 millimeters for each head run. It's now pushing maybe 5 millimeters for each head run. So the voltage didn't change. So my head will still be fine. But however, I am now running the job for a much longer time so that it spends more time spraying ink. Are you with me? And normally people get higher quality on higher resolution prints, like 6 pass. And the whole concept of printing, I mean, you guys understand it. If you want better quality, you drop your speed. If you want higher, if you're okay with low, if you want to finish faster, you compromise on quality. There are so many factors. Of course, that also depends on the speed of your print head and all of that. But rule of thumb in basic printing is that's why when you run a higher resolution print, it's going to print slower than a low resolution print. 6 pass, 3 pass, 8 pass, all of that. Sometimes you don't see it written as pass. Sometimes it's just written as resolution. The higher the resolution, the slower it prints. Does it make sense? Yes.
Yeah, on that aspect, like when I print on a 720,
Right.
I tend to get the right color.
Right.
But when I go up to like those maybe 180 or 140,
it's too much. You don't get the.
Sometimes like, okay, this one you give me better, but the color is off. Maybe you increase the lighter. Still,
the color is off. Okay. I would need to open Maintop for that to maybe just show you a little bit. You understand? I wasn't able to bring my PC. Let me try this. How do I use this thing? Okay, got it. I want to be able to open Maintop for you. I wanted to do that after we had done the practical part. Maybe let's come back to that. I'll open for you on Maintop and explain to you. But for now, let me clean the. Okay.
But it's a normal that when you print on a lower pass, then it forms these lines.
Yes, it's very normal. It's actually the whole point of, if you're running lower passes, you normally get, we call them bending lines. Because you are already running low, that's why it prints fast, however, but you're running on low quality. Remember what I said, you have two axes on your machine. The head is moving this way, and the paper is moving this way, right? So when you're running on low passes, like 3 pass, what you're saying is the paper is moving a longer distance for every head movement. So it's possible, very possible, that you get lines, and your prints are a bit faint, the font is not that high, unless you play around with, if you go to other softwares where you can increase the intensity of the print work to make sure that it sprays, in as much as it is running those low pass, it's spraying a lot of ink. But what he asked, which is, if I go to higher pass, 6 pass, 8 pass, maybe it's by 1440, by 2180, it now has the colors, there are no lines, yes, but the colors are not, they're too dark now. Or maybe the blue is now looking navy blue or near black. I do understand that. There's what is called an intensity bar. An intensity bar, depending on the software you're using. If you're using a software, who uses Flexi here? Flexi, anyone else uses Flexi? I'll put it here. So you have 2 softwares that most of us normally use. There are other ones like Ringprint, but I'll talk about Flexi and I'll also talk about Maintop. Those are the 2 main softwares people use here. We have a video on how to use Maintop, on how to adjust this. I'm happy to send it into the group. You check it out. For Flexi, you have what we call color modes. On those color modes, you will see CMYK. Then you see CMYK 2-bit. Then you see CMYK 3-bit. And it goes on and on and on. Have you ever seen that part? If you even go further, you see a part where it says ignore overprint. Options like these are for the intensity of the color. So let's say I want it to run on 6 pass or 8 pass. I'm okay with it, but the colors are a bit too rich. And maybe it was on CMYK 2-bit. I simply run it on CMYK. What that's going to do is, it's going to just lessen the amount of ink that it is spraying. I won't get lines, it actually just makes my print a bit lighter. But for most of us who are using Maintop, let me finish up here. So here, CMYK is low, is less ink. 2-bit, more ink. 3-bit, even more ink. Comes to the same thing as ignore overprint. If I say ignore overprint, it puts a lot more ink because it's printing over the other. But if I untick it, it normally doesn't give a lot of ink. So this is all about saturation. That's the whole point. For Maintop, your saturation, you find it on a couple of options, but the first and easiest option is what they call intensity. Let me use the blue marker here. If you guys, when you go to print, you go to settings, right? And then when you get to settings, you see where it says intensity. Should I get a laptop and show you in person and do it practically? You've never seen that part? Okay.
It's like it says, I think, lighter
Darkest, exactly. So intensity will be like this. Will be a bar, and then it will have a small bar here, and it will be on a right. The maximum you get is 5, the minimum you get is 1. And on here it will say darkest. And here it will say lightest. So the whole point here is there's also a default button which will be here. Now, I'll just say DEF. The whole point is when you change your color profile to 6 parts, 4 parts, whatever, it will come to a default intensity. If you feel like that intensity, maybe you've come to 6 parts, it will come to another intensity. Maybe it's that intensity normally is around 2.1 or something like that. If you feel like it's too dark, what do? You push this bar towards lightest so that it becomes lighter. If you see it and it says, and the colors are too dark, they're too rich, you move it towards lightest. If you feel like your colors are too light, you move it back towards darkest. We're going to do this in person once we change the dampers and of course we're going to do a printing example on the machine that we have that is. But this is a very important aspect to understand. People call us time and time trying to understand my colors. They are fine, but they're too dark or they're too. The first way to edit this is on this intensity bar. There are also other options in Mentor, which I'll show you, where you can go into what they call color adjustment mode, where it has all the colors such as cyan, magenta, yellow, black, and you can reduce or increase those things. And yeah, so let's do this. I think it's easier to do when you're looking at the actual. And ultimately on color, you guys understand, this is something we're actually working on with Mr. Bruce here, where there's what's called a color profiler. If you've ever heard of this term, ICC, have you guys ever heard of it? Or color profile, basically. A color profile is basically an ink mixing ratio. So what we mean is, if you look at that color theory chart there, do you see where green comes from? Green is coming from a mixture of yellow and cyan. If you look at that chart, then look at where that green is. Green is between yellow and cyan. You see that? Do I make sense, or should I maybe? Are you getting what I'm saying here? Sorry. Your green is coming from when I mix yellow and cyan. And the different shades of green are dependent on how much cyan I've put or how much yellow I've put. I'll come to purple. It's when I mix magenta, or I would say red, and the blue. And then I get different shades of purple. Now that's what an ICC does. The ICC, which is your color profile, is the one that allows you to mix the inks so that you can get the exact color that you want. If your ICC is made for another type of ink, then you wake up one day, you find a cheaper ink supply, which is perfectly fine. There's no problem there. You go buy that ink, and you don't get the ICC profile they made for that ink recipe that they have. You may find that your blue looks maybe it's a bit towards greenish or any of that. The best way to fix that is to get the correct color profile. But if you can't, because it's very hard to make profiles. But if you can't, then you go to Maintop, or even Flexi has that option, where you edit each color individually. And you can be able to say, okay, if my green is too yellow, what do? I have to reduce if my green is too yellow, either I reduce the yellow or I increase the cyan so that I get the green that I want. These are play arounds that you can do. And these are easy things to do, but people just don't know that you have those functionalities. So we're happy to do that in practical. But for now, let's go and move to the practical part of things. On what we've talked about before the mentor part, has this been understood? It's been understood? Are you guys ready for the practical part? Keep in mind, you should be able at the end of today to service your own printers. So I hope you are asking the key questions on this. Change your own head. I don't expect any one of you to book us for a call out. You should be able to change your own printers. You should, at least the basics. You can, maybe it's an issue of time or whatever. But I mean, they are basic, like changing dampers. I can't be driving all the way to Bloemfontein to change dampers. There are better things to do, guys. You can do this, and these are very basic things. You're in Swaziland, right? Exactly. Now I have to cross the border to come and change your cap. Able to immediately pick out what's what. Like the one behind you, without going there. What machine is that? It's under refurbishment, but what machine is that? UV flatbed. You understand why it's a UV flatbed? Can it be a sublimation like this? No. If it's a sublimation, I'm printing on something that's rolling. So I can't roll anything here. The moment it becomes flat, we're on UV. If you look at this one, what do you think it is? It's a DTF because it has a baking oven in front. These are basic things, you know, like for example, so we have machine 1, machine 2, machine 3. These machines are the ones we're going to work on. I would put the bag down, sir, because you're going to get your hands dirty. That's why you see what I'm wearing here. You can step back from it if you don't want, but ideally, we're going to be hands-on. I just need syringes. I came with some syringes in that. Can I get 1, 2? Can I get about 5 syringes? Yeah. All right. And what machine would this be? Laser cutter. Okay, yeah, those are the basics. All right. So we're going to work on 3 of these machines. We're going to do the whole inking system. If we manage to go through this, then you will be able to, at least I can be confident that when you call us and say, guys, my machine has a problem, I can be sure that at least you've tried everything you can. We're going to do everything up to changing the printhead. Okay? We're going to station each other. Everyone is going to be on their own machine, but we might need 2 people to be on a team. So we have 2 people there, 2 people here, and 2 people here. I think that will work. And we'll be helping you guys. There's one guy. Where is he? Okay. Yorkies. I still have them on. I'm so sorry. Okay. So here's how we're going to split. These machines are being refurbished. Okay? So they came in. We've changed most of the electronic components, but we are now going to do the inking system. From tanks, we said from tanks, where do we go? To filters. From filters, where do we go? Please. Anyone else? Pipes, yes. From the pipes? Dampers. From the dampers, what's the next thing? The head. From the head? Cap. From the cap, what's the next thing? The pump. From the pump, what's the last thing? The waste bottle. Exactly. So if you know all of these things, then pretty much that's it. That's what we're going to work on. We're going to even fit the pipes ourselves. Is that too challenging for you guys?
That's what we want.
That's what you want. All right. So let's get to people to just mount the machines. We can start off. You guys can come closer. Let me just explain the machine so that we all do it together. Yeah, everyone is busy. I can see. Would you guys prefer Saturdays? Huh? It's less stressful. There are less calls. All right. So we start from here. Yeah, I knew. Okay. If you go to the back there of the machine, you're going to see that there's space for tanks. The tanks, this is a bulk ink system that we're using. There are other, when we say bulk ink, we don't necessarily mean that the tanks are big in as much as we mean that, but there are other systems which have tanks at the top here, then cartridges at the bottom. That's actually a cartridge system, not a bulking system. The bulking system is the one which comes straight from here straight to the dampers. So we're going to come from the tanks. You don't have to put the tanks really. You're not running any ink here. The ink is going to be run there. Here is just for the parts, okay? And for you to know how to fit your head, how to fit your dampers. So you have those. We don't have to put the tanks, but we're going to change the pipes. And you see that on your XP600 printhead, whether you have an XP600 or an i3200, which is 4 dampers, the concept is the same. It doesn't matter. So in teams, we're going to change these pipes. After the pipes are changed, we're going to change these dampers, and we're going to put the printhead, and we're going to change the cap. After you know how to do this, then we're going to deal with the final output on a working machine. Are we together? Would that be too much to ask? No. On each machine, you will find there's a screwdriver and this and that. For me to remove my pipes, let me just give you a simple example. What do we call this? This is a carriage board, right? You don't really have to struggle with it. If ever you're going to take it, maybe I want to change my pipes. I just need to take a picture of all the connections that are here. Once I see that I've taken a picture, then I just remove these connections because I want to change my pipes. I have to open it and remove the carriage board so that I can be able to change everything else. You may find some machines have carriage boards which are just one layer here, like the one that, yours and the one that you have is just, it's a blue board, which is just here. This one is it's an older model, so it's a double layer board, but it's the same system. This is called a Senyan system, right? So when we say we're refurbishing a machine, we're not doing much. We're just changing components like these, which are the key components, and we're changing the whole inking system, which is what you are learning the basics of today. All right. I know some of you already, dabble in these arts. You already play around with components. I will not mention names, but you know yourselves, and that's good. I think it's important. Look, if you're going to have a Chinese machine, basics like these, you're supposed to be able to know how to play around. So I'll start off here. And Manel, Skelling says, let's help this gents here. That's a toolbox for me, Motiam, so that we can get a screwdriver. Sharp. All right. Up to here, there's nothing really complicated. I've simply just removed this board so that I can have access. So that I can have access to my pipes. That's it. That's all I'm doing. There's nothing complicated. I know what it looks like because I've taken a picture of how everything is going to look like, right? Okay. Now I'm just going to put my board in a safe place so that I don't lose my screws and everything else. I'm going to place the stuff here, right? Now, once I'm here, what I want to do is I want to take out these pipes and I want to put a fresh set of pipes. Can I get a fresh set of pipes behind you, sir? Okay, thank you. This is the fresh set of pipes, which I'm going to run here. Now, you see that I have 4 lines. They come as 8, but we've put them as 4. And I have 6 dampers, however. A lot of people waste because when you buy a machine, normally you're going to get 8 lines. And you don't need to run 6. Because you can keep the other 4 for the next installation or when you want to change your pipes. Why I run 4 lines is because I can always, even if I had, let's say, a DX5 head with 8 dampers, I don't need to run 8 pipes. Only 4 pipes are fine because, do you see what we have here? These are called Y connectors. The point of these things is simply to be able to split the colors into 2. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to be able to learn how to do that. So first thing I do is I need to take out my dampers. I'm going to take all of them out. Lucky for you, these things, I think they're already blocked because they haven't been running. These machines haven't worked in 4 years. So, yeah, it's pretty much puppy. It's like, turns out it's not. I need to get tissue. Chunk
Why
logic
do
tissue.
I take it from the
Oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry?
when I get that, I've noticed that on the F600 there's certain colors where they go at just one color and the other color is split.
Exactly.
What makes you what
It's okay. Why do we have two magentas and two cyans, but then for black and yellow we have one? Perfect. So on XP600, why that happens is you have what you call light magenta and light cyan. So the other the other magenta and the other cyan are there to represent light magenta and light cyan. That's the whole point, basically. And that's why you find out sometimes if you're using a software like Flex, I can lose 2 channels in it, and I can still run perfect. Yeah. You come to heads now like i3200, which has 8 channels. As much as
Just numbers. This one is it's an auto model, so it's a double layer.
that one is still running same with, but there are 2 portions for each. Right? If that yet
When we say we're refurbishing a machine, we're not doing much, we're just changing components like this.
to the non-component channels, and we change the whole OV system, and I run market, which is never sure.
The basics.
So here's the catch. You use a lighter.
I know some of you already,
I don't
dabble in these arts. You already play around with
lighter.
components. I will not mention names, but you know yourselves, and that's good. I think it's important. Look, if you're gonna have a Chinese machine,
I'm going to remove my edge.
basics.
Whenever I'm
you're
dealing
supposed to be able to.
I want everything that is a circuit.
And Manin, let's help this gents here.
Anything that has, which is the head, this is the head chip. That's why I plug in my printhead. And then this goes into the head. I always move it away from where any interface starts. So
Right. Up to here, there's nothing really complicated. I've simply just removed this board so that I can have access. So that I can have access to my pipes. Right. That's all I'm doing.
I want to let all the pipes go, but I can't be
Complicated. I know what it looks like because I've taken a picture of how everything
so that it doesn't leak. From there,
Now I'm just going to put my board in a safe place so that I don't lose my screws and everything.
everything I'm doing now, please ask questions as much as you can because I'm going to ask you guys to do it on all of those other machines. Okay, you understand that I've just removed the cover for here. The machine doesn't really need this cover. We are actually getting into making machines, and we'll be making machines without this for minimum costs. There's no need for this, just like a flatbed print without a cover. These are just basics, yeah. But let me unscrew this. There we go. And all right, perfect.
bring.
I know, but you
You must come. You said you must just come.
Good? Is it
Yeah.
close? Good. We're getting there. So it actually shouldn't even, like, for example, you don't have to do one pipe at a time. You can even cut both of these. Don't worry, you come to the other one. Just want to show them the concept of doing both pipes. Can you hold this for me? Just bring this dampers inside there. There we go. And I'm going to snip this too. Yeah, just did two at once. No, not always the smartest set. Sometimes you use 5 stones to kill one bird. Alright, cool. Okay.
Is that if the bed is
Right. let me get that jacket for you. From here, we're simply going to unscrew this part here. We open this part so that the pipes can be, so you just open one side and then you turn it like what we did here. There's a screwdriver somewhere here. Here we go. And after you open that, you are also opening, you see this one here? You're also opening it and moving it to the side. To see it. Yeah. So let's open those. I'm coming now. I'm just getting that.
You can open that one.
Amen. Somewhere.
Let's take 2 guys to your machine base so that you can help them faster. And we'll faster. And then we go to the... Alright, 2 guys can go with this guy to another machine bay. And then you can start there. Everything you need is here. There are your pipes on that side.
So this cable tie can remove it also.
And here's some
Where did you put this one?
There you go.
This is they say.
Before you change, it's easier to press it. You don't have to clean it out. You always get it. So even after.
Video achazoposta futhi pa YouTube kana makuda reference.
So you want to
Chaposta futhi pa YouTube.
Yeah.
Murum group and Murum group.
We're winning. We're winning.
Murum group rewazo.
Right.
No, not yet.
Okay, so guys. So we're going to add them. So numbers in later on to add them group match.
Yeah, because
So here's the thing. You actually,
I took add them group match. Then you can get all the videos from.
for you to be able to take out the pipes, there is no need for you to remove this thing here that you've removed, Mr. Chicks. But now that you've removed it, let me show you the easiest way.
So
we
how are you
actually
supposed to remove
we
it?
actually do it with the cover in. We don't need to remove this.
Okay.
As long as this has been taken out, just bring this pipe from there. There we go. Alright. So we have these pipes here. The whole point is you attach these pipes that are outgoing. The pipes that are incoming. And then you pull. So where the incoming pipes, they're down there, can you take them?
Or that screw, you can put back that other screw for you.
Okay, let me.
Since you've removed it already, it's alright. Don't worry about it. We'll just put it at once after. So here's the point.
So this one they run through the side.
Yes, exactly. Or it depends on the system. So you see what you do? You're going to attach this, that. And make sure it's a flat line. It's not too thick because it won't be able to move through here. And you take some tape. Fairly straightforward. Right. There we go. Right.
The risk of the cabinet out.
chance. Not with duct tape, eh? Right, so here's the point. Someone has to hold this. That's why I normally like to have these screws, to not remove the screws here. This one? Wasn't it these ones?
No, those ones are for the.
Okay. So these ones you also don't remove, you just do like this. Because you don't want to have a lot of things lying around. Otherwise you lose things. There we go.
Okay, you just need to know this is sensor, and this is internet. This one is
Right.
it's a
So here's the catch.
this is where it's telling the machine to
Alright, so guys, here's the catch. Someone is going to be pushing here and someone is going to be pulling. But when you're pushing, make sure these two are held and you're not. Well, that's why you're supposed to leave that thing so that these two do not come, but it's fine. So you're pushing that and someone is pulling this. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So let's push these pipes.
So which means
We're pushing them there.
I think that the chip is on aligning our suited nicely.
Nicely, so that it's not that thick. So you're pushing it from here. Okay. There you go. But when you're doing it, I told you something. Watch these connect so that they don't go out.
Okay.
So one hand is holding this, and then while you're pushing these ones from the edge. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Okay. Are you pushing?
Yeah. I think that's the same.
Okay, pull it to you. Pull it. Pull it. Pull it. Okay, so now you know. So let's fix this part here. Let's make it a bit more flat.
But yeah.
You get the concept, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's your tape.
So I'm connecting to the outer pipes,
To there?
like this one, which are, when I'm connecting this one, I'm connecting to this one, which are coming out then. Is there
When
pulling
you
this
push
one?
this one, the new one.
The new ones will not come in here. That's fine. This is good
So it's
enough.
how many meters?
So for a basic machine like a 1.6 meter, 1.8 meter, you need 4 meters at most. But when you go buy certain companies, they'll sell you 6 meters because they just want to make money off it. But it's 4 meters is enough. Actually, 3.8 meters is the actual. If you have a 3.2 meter machine, you're looking at about maybe at most 6.5 meters. That's good enough.
It's too thick.
Huh? Yeah, the connection we made there was too thick. There we go. Check. So to lessen your work action, you can do it this way. Can you pull this? Pull this out. Pull it out. A little bit more. Is it still 2 pipes? Okay. I thought at some point it just became 4 pipes. Okay. So now bring these here. Just attach this pole. There's no need to attach this line. Right? And then you didn't. This one wasn't. Yeah, taped nicely. Where's the lighter?
Okay. Just burn the black pipe.
I don't smoke, so I hope it's gonna
Let's attach them. And start from, it's fine, start from this one. Let's go. Next. There you go. Turn this off for now.
Yeah, okay.
Because you probably have music in this section or what?
Well, you are giving instructions, so we need the volume. What I do, I don't know what I did to this little thing here. I pulled this little thing here. This one. I wanted to close this door.
Okay, I know this one. Let's do this.
Now we're going to show
So now pushing and pulling. I'll hold this, yeah. Leave the, no, these ones are going.
no, or somebody.
Yeah.
It's not gonna make this.
No, it isn't. But if you go there, and you push for you, then push it. Let's do this. You know what? Yeah. That's cool. It's the asshole. There you go. You bring it here a bit. Move the Oh, this person had already done them on driver, that's right. Okay, there we go. So now you have your new pipes in and you have your old pipes out. So how much length do you leave there? Put it out a bit, so let me show you. Put it here. Okay, so you want enough length to be able to get to the head. Because remember, you're going to put your dampers as well. So just enough.
There's something with dampers. The ones here, these ones. Up from these ones.
Yeah.
These ones, when you change now, it means you must cut a little bit of the pipe.
And then so that you put it here.
So it means it becomes shorter and shorter.
Even with these ones, you must always cut so that they'll always keep getting shorter and shorter. Yes. That's why we have pipe extensions. So this is good. This is long enough. That's perfect. As long as it can reach the bed.
Or you put pipe
You put
extensions
extra, you
when
always
they're short.
yeah, when they're short. But highly unlikely that you keep changing your pipes to the point where you keep changing taps to the point where you have to put extensions. Then if you have to, yeah. Then after this, you remove this. From here, we're now putting dampers. You see your dampers here. Let's get all 6 dampers.
I'm
but-
putting dampers before this, the white.
No, we have to put the Y connector first, but you have to know how to put the Y connector. Alright. Okay. So the pipes have run, and depending on the system, there are some systems where the pipes come underneath here, and then they come under the carriage. But on these systems, they don't do that. Their pipes come inside.
Mine, I think it was under.
Yours goes under, yeah. Even yours in the brand goes under. Okay.
This one goes inside.
Oh. The same setup was like.
No, yours has a hose here, and then goes under with your cable tie.
Because I saw many was under, I was trying to check.
And then we're going to put our filters Yeah. Okay. And then to the front, put down. So let's start with the filters and back. And then all right, let's get filters. Let me show you how to put the filters. The ink at whatever angle it sits at, it will never be blocked. That's a very, very crucial aspect of putting the pipes. It should always be this is number one. Number two, which is very important, where the screwdriver. And right. Sometimes when I try to put my pipes in, they won't fit. So it's always easier to always make the hole. And then once you see that my pipe can fit nicely, never put your pipe in too much. Because what people normally do is they put the pipe in all the way. Like they feel like as long as it's in. But what you're doing now is the pipe gets in and then it bends to come back to the top. And that's also another reason. People will say my tanks are full. Or even my tanks are halfway, but nothing is coming because the pipe is in and then up. So you only need enough length to make sure that it's straight. It's just like this. Does it make sense? Do you guys see?
Alright, so that when there's an angle there, when it sits at the bottom, it doesn't go.
It doesn't, and it doesn't go there and twist. Right. So with that, I'm going to cut the length of this. Right. When I cut all my pipes now, this is when you guys come. One, two, 1, 2. Here's where the filters now come. So now we put filters. Your filter has an in and then out. So the inlet, just don't worry about the outlet. The inlet just has to be where this pipe goes. So you firstly fit this pipe onto your filter. In the side, or in the fit your pipe. If you're struggling to fit your pipe on any of these ones, sometimes you get 2 minutes apart, 3 minutes apart, people calling and say, it's not getting in. You always just try to do this. You just take this. You just move this.
Or you put the screwdriver.
So you can put a screw, just open the hole a little bit. Otherwise, it will. Yeah, so once you do this, it's a bit more open. And then it's easier to use tissue to plug in your pipes. It's easier to use tissue. Did you open it first? Yes. So you want to open it a little bit and then you just put turning like this. Let me show you what I mean. Yes, exactly. And make sure it's going down and it's turning. That's the easiest way to go about it. I think we need there's the lines for this thing. How far do you think it's supposed to go? You will see it. Look at it. Yeah, but you can go a little bit in. So let me show you. Nah, it's in, but it could be better. So the whole point is you touch it, and then you turn it. But you see, you're already working this one. Because this was what we're putting. So it's a very, very tricky. Yeah. Okay. Let's try it like this. Let's try it again. So the first point is you align. Once the line and then now just there we go.
It seems like I'm supposed to press it straight.
Yeah, straight, and but you're twisting, but then you're going down. So it's okay. Exactly. Much better. Now the other side, which is the outlet, goes to this pipe. Let me just get another filter in there. This one is damaged.
Now the other, it's broken this thing.
Yeah, he's fetching another one.
So we are putting on the all 4.
Yeah, should be off for. Do we have 4 filters?
So here, the trick, the part is one. What we usually do here. You see, since like this one is still alright, because we still have to cut the one and bring it. So the trick over here. In order for you to not make a mistake, when you see from here, it's in magenta or CN or you want to put leg on magenta.
Yeah,
side. Then when you
let me get.
put it so that means you're gonna put that one. Yeah. So now you have so the trick, as you know from you know what you have like this. You take the end and the end. You know between these two, it's either yellow or black. You know with inside one. Whether it's going to CM or magenta, it's still gonna go with the 2 line. But whenever you take like this, now you don't know. Then you have to twist. Like you know, from here you don't know until you pull. So in order for you to be sure, you take the ends. You know what you make it. The XICN, even here it doesn't matter whether it is, but you know it's coming in one line. And also, again, it's coming on one line. Then from here, you know what it's magenta or CN. It doesn't matter. So that's what they're doing. Now we're going to fit the printers.
It can, but what it's easier for it to pull out. So one day you end on 20 meters and on 18 meters, and it pulls out. Oh, so it's not an issue of can it work or not. It's an issue of can I do it or not. And I think it's look. This one I don't know. Look at it. Like okay. Did you use the screwdriver first? Yeah. So I did. So here's the. Okay, you're taking a tissue, holding the tip, right? Then you push to the left, right? Is this one already broken? No. Are you sure? Okay. This one looks like it's already broken. No, this one is broken, right? Yeah, it's broken already, this one.
And this one also looks like this.
Okay, take them out. Okay, so from here we're simply going to them. I have thinner ones here. Here's the quantity. Take your tissue, you go on the line, then you point it through, and then you're just pushing soft. Like there really isn't much work as long as you pushing from here. Does that mean what? I think it's broken. Yeah, it looks like it's also broken. Nigga, stop recording. Cannot be so.
On the
This one's open there. Wait, what happened to the other one? I thought we had put another. We had put one more already. So you just opening like this. Once you have an opening like this, that's nice. So now you take your pipe, and then the moment it just gets in, so you're just.
Are they different types of?
There we go.
Because I see like you bought
But then
this one is same that's kind of different.
yeah, this is the pretend. It's the same thing. It's just the ends. So suppliers will give you anything. Okay. You don't want to have to take that back to China. You can simply know what to do. So now I'm in, and then where's my outline? I can simply just take this one. So let's just prove the concept. This one.
Oh.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
In and out.
This one is the one.
I'm doing it for you.
Oh, this one I think this one. This is the one I got.
Okay.
So I'm checking. I'm seeing this one. This one.
Yeah, this one will still work. Yeah. So here's the point. Once you open it like this, you didn't open this one. It's because of how you open this part here. So I'm gonna check out this part. Let's do it again. Okay. No, not really. It must just open at the top. It's a bit of an art at the end of the day, but you just want to make sure that it's open. Because some people, you remember this, because you had two millimeter pipes and you were struggling with fitting them. You could also have just played this game. It's fine. You open the orifice just a little bit, just like something like this. This is good enough. Right. Once it's open like this, then you take your connector and you fit it. Right. The moment it's in somewhere here, then you take your tissue. Let me attach it to this one. It's easy to push. Right. And the whole concept now is grabbing this part, and then I am moving it in. There we go. And the moment it just passes this line here, that's the most important. Everything else, how we're just trying out, it's not really a big deal. But as long as it passes that moment there, like that gap, you see, this thing has this one. The moment it just passes the nipple, then that's good.
Can you also show the camera where it was?
Okay. The moment it just passes this part here of the throat, or once again, this part here. Don't get any ideas. Alright. Sharp. So this inlet side is this one. So it's fine, we'll just put two for now. It's okay. But do you get the concept of what I'm saying? Does it make sense?
So this is what the side which is going inside the tank. That's where we cut it.
That's exactly. That's why it always has to have a thing, so that it never, when it sits in the tank, it's never flat.
Okay.
Yeah, it always allows it to come in. Right. Okay, cool.
Now this one.
This guy's gave. From the pipes, we said we come to the dampers, right? Okay. So we have four lines here. And what's happening with our four lines is we need to split two of them so that there are two cyan and two magenta, if it's an XP600. If it's a DX5, which has 8 dampers, we're going to split all of them into 2, 2, 2. If it's an i3200, there's no need to split them. We simply take the damper and put it straight. Where a lot of people struggle is how to fit the damper. But before we do that, let's show you how to put these dampers here. Where is the side cutter? Can I get the side cutter, please? Okay. Now, it depends on what ink order I want to put here. You can put any ink order. It doesn't matter. But for me, I like to start either from darkest to lightest or lightest to darkest. So my lightest color here is yellow, getting to magenta, cyan and yellow. So for me, either I start from yellow, magenta, magenta, cyan, cyan, and then black. Or you can start from black, cyan, cyan, magenta, magenta, yellow. But it really doesn't matter. You can put any order you want.
This one I put, they already give you
So that's just what they put for it to be simple. Why they put that is because they've already programmed on your board the order that you're going to put here. It's not that that is the only order you can put. It's so that you don't, because remember, they want you to do a software installation. So they don't want you to call them saying, can you please rearrange this, so that it's not that that's the only order which works. It's only because that's what, remember, whatever I put here, I have to tell the system that this is the order. So the only reason they put it here is because the system is, that's what they already programmed. That's all. So exactly, default. So I'm going to, for me, I'm going to have yellow here, and we have black at the end.
So for me, I like to put yellow and black in the middle.
In the middle, okay.
Because when the head is losing, it starts losing those two at the end.
At the end. Okay.
So black and yellow, they have one. Normally, that's why I like to put them in there.
That's what he believes. It can go anywhere.
No, I'm saying from my
From his
experience with the
experience,
heads that I've lost so far, the ones at the end, they go to
Power. Yeah. You put it on charge. Maybe just give it time. So from here, I take my damper and I just fit it in here. It's very simple. You take your damper and then you screw it in and move it a bit forward. Whatever you do, you're not folding this part, because you don't want there to be like a fold here or a crease. Once it's in throughout, then you're done. But for the 2 lines that I want to split into 2, I'm going to cut them in the middle like this. Once I cut them, I'm now going to make 2 pipes from each of them. So one pipe is going to come in like this, and the other one is going to come in the same way. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take these pipes here now, and I half them. There we go. From here, this is what they call a Y connector. It allows me to put 2 pipes onto one. 2 dampers onto 1 pipe, basically. 1 and 2. Let's have anyone else make this line. Okay, cool. 100%. Yeah, you can finish up this one. Okay.
This one's not gonna be too long.
That's perfect. That's not a problem at all. That's not a problem at all. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. With this one being done, I'm simply going to plug it in like this. And from here, I'm going to put my other dampers. Let's get dampers. Can we have people put dampers there? Thank you. Putting dampers is crucial. You may not do everything we did at the back, but putting dampers, at least you must know how to put dampers. All right.
So what you were doing at the back there to put this product up first is necessary on the dampers as well?
Not exactly. I only did it on the footers because the footers we have are quite big. There are some footers which are small enough that nozzle is. Yeah, but the reason why they normally make the filters have a big one is because they want it to be very tight because it's pulling ink all the way. So they want it to be a very tight. That's why they make that tip very, very thick.
Okay. What you're putting dampers, I have a problem with most driving machines. If you that, it's always touching.
It's not it?
It's always blocking here on
Really?
So what I end up doing now,
can you connect this, sir?
I just go to the
okay. Can you put your
white on the edge? I go to the same channel. Spraying in flash, leave it overnight, flush it out tomorrow, and then I clean the machine.
On which ink? UV or it's always blocking cyan.
It's only blocking cyan.
2 options. It could be the ink itself. Number 1. That's always blocked. So you always flush your cyan every time you're putting.
Like now there's a machine that needs to be flushed.
But why? If you put the ink, does it come nicely? Before you flush, if you just take a syringe and pour the ink.
Put it from where? From the tanks.
Yeah. There may not be a need to flush.
No, but if I don't flush the head.
You flush the head or you flush the head. So that channel is always blocked. If you ever try to put that cyan anywhere else and see if it keeps blocking, it could be the channel on the head.
Change the channel and put it in. You will go for 5-6 months, and then that problem will not start.
Then it's the ink. And it's the ink.
So maybe it's wise to put a filter.
A filter. Yeah. I think it would be wise to put a filter. A filter with a very small mesh. Filters can also change your quality, because sometimes you're only getting that color because it's bringing in those thick. So sometimes the filter will actually take out the color if the ink is bad. It will protect your head, but it can actually not bring. Yeah, exactly. All right. Are we good?
Yeah.
So I hope what you're doing is you were not pressing here. I see he's doing that. That damper is dead. It's not. This one will not work anymore if you've damaged. You don't press here. You always press on the sides.
Okay.
So can I try it?
Also, it will no longer breathe like that.
Yeah, because you've already ruined the system that allows it to breathe. So you can't put force here, because now you hold the sides of a damper always. Remember, you're only doing this now and there's no ink. Sometimes there'll be ink. Most of the times there'll be ink in the pipe. So the moment you're doing this, it's already spilling ink. So there's ink everywhere, and your board is not removed. It's there. We wouldn't have changed pipes. We're just changing dampers. So with the damper, you always hold the sides. Once you hold the sides, then you take it in. And then you are playing with the sides of the damper, never this part here. The moment you do this, it's highly likely. I'm not saying it's, but it's highly likely that this damper will misbehave. Have you ever noticed an issue where I put it and the nozzle just keeps going away on that line. On that line, normally it's because you didn't install the dampers properly.
And I think you can, if there's ink already there, then it's not about. You can put the damper and the ink comes out.
And the ink comes out, yeah. Exactly.
Uh,
So from here, we've done basically most of the stuff. We're now just taking our damper, then we're plugging it onto the head. These types of dampers only go in one way, but the other ones, they can go in the
whatever you buy. The catch is, some of them will come with cables, some of them won't. The heads we sell come with cables, but on the head models after this, normally they don't come with pre-sealed cables. So first thing is I'm going to remove the screws.
Northwest.
I'll show you what's up.
Northwest. Tell me, send me a picture, let me see. Which northwest?
There we go. Okay, so all 4 screws are out. Now when I'm getting my head, it will not have this cable, so I'm going to do this. And take out this ceiling. Do you see what had happened? There was a...
Oh yes,
this guy was...
Yes, you can collect, but
there was a covering here to make sure that no ink gets onto the... You heard us talk about piezo electric inside, right? When we were talking about head circuits, this is the head circuit. This thing that you're, this green board here, this is the electrical part of the head. That's why you see that this connection here, which is going to the board, comes into this. So the main concern when you're putting your head here is, number one, the pins, which are on the, they are about, if for an XP600 head, there are about 29 pins there. 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 29. And there are also 29 receiving tracks here. The whole point is I'm supposed to make sure they are aligned. 29 pins. The moment these miss, a lot of things can go wrong. For example, if I do this, that's part of what can, it wasn't the only thing, but that's part of also what can kill a board on certain systems. Some systems are stronger, the board doesn't burn, but you get an error. Immediately gives you an error. So the most important thing when I'm putting my head is, if I put my cables correctly, and are they aligned? Are these pins aligned to this? So you have to check all of them. Does it make sense? Do you guys see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's number one.
There's a click.
Yeah, you can hear it. Well, it's not like a click that is mechanized, but you can hear it. You can hear that, yeah. Number one. Number two, I then have to protect that connection. If I just leave this exposed, you see this ink, this thing was not this color, but you see it's black. This ink could have gotten onto the moment it gets onto the boss, then it's gonna burn the circuit. Then it's gonna get onto the circuit, and it's gonna short circuit, and I've lost my head. Easily. A head I bought for 25,000.
Oh, it will just interfere with the signals.
Exactly. And it short circuits. No, this is just, you do whatever tape you can get high voltage tape, you can get, this is just, the main thing here was, some people use double-sided tape. This was masking tape actually. Masking tape, and then this one here is just fabric tape. I don't even remember which hardware it was bought from. But double-sided tape is good enough. Whatever mechanism you can find, some people even put electric tape here, just to protect this connection. That's the most important thing. That insulation tape. Yes.
This thing killed my submission head. I had to order.
Exactly. The ink, it can be on the head, but the ink should never be in the circuit board. there's a protection on the circuit board to just allow the valves to open, but it never spills onto the circuit board itself. So if I open
Also,
this,
if there's a way, since you're going to be making machines, if there's a way to improve the cleaning system, because it's the wiper that is bringing it.
it's the wiper that is bringing you. Are very right. Yeah. And you can see this head was already damaged. I think if you see this, there was ink. A head like this, if you're checking your machine and you see this, I'm begging you, don't put it back. This ink, before I had removed it, it could have simply been on the cables. But the moment I take it out, the ink is now going to sip in. If I connect it back, most of the times, if I say 80% of the times, that short circuit. The problem with the short circuit is it most of the times affects the carriage board. Carriage board is more expensive than a head sometimes. So it's more ideal. If the moment you see this, that's it. Rather put your money aside and let's get another head instead of paying for a head and carriage board. Do I make sense?
How about to clean that and also the...
Cleaning this is, you could get away with it, but cleaning inside there, you can get that electrostatic spray, but there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee of I think it was 1 out of every 10 times that I've managed to be able to say I sprayed inside there to a but it doesn't matter. Any side, it has 29 pins on both sides, so you can put any side.
I think the important thing there is to know the orientation of your pin.
Exactly.
Because if you put it upside down, if we just say it doesn't matter, someone will just put this cable like
No. So there, because remember, there's no way you can do, because you are matching. Remember, I said there are pins and tracks. The only way for you to check is if the pins are on the top and the tracks are here. This is the only way for you to actually be able to align these two. So once they are aligned, this is the first alignment we concern ourselves with, and then we cover. But the second alignment, which is very important, is remember, it's going to come from here, right? And from here, it's going to go to the, sorry. It's going to go to the printed chip. This is where a lot of people miss it now. Have you ever seen error 16 on your machines? Error 16 happens sometimes because the cable is, the head is damaged, or the headboard, but most of the times on a new head, error 16 happens because people didn't plug this part in well. If I take my cable, you have two things. The bottom one, which is the right, you see from the right side of my head, it actually writes right. Whatever printed chip I'm using, it's right. If I take this head and I put it here, remember I'm still aligning the pins and the tracks. But let's say I make a mistake and I do it like this. It looks like it's fine, but look closely. Is it fine?
it's not in.
It's in, it's fully in.
Okay.
But is it aligned?
And it's this side.
Yeah, check. On any printed you're using, do you see that it's not aligned?
Yeah, it's not.
That's error 16. So if I get error 16 once, then I keep trying. The next thing that's going to burn is the board.
Can we also see, please, the error 16?
There is a video we've made ready, however, but yeah, it's good that you see it. You see it?
Yeah.
So it's not aligned. And if it was on the top pin that I misaligned, like this, I'm going to see my machine saying initializing, and it won't stop. It will keep initializing, and the board will start getting hot. It's initializing, because it's trying to put electricity, but that electricity is not coming to the head, it's coming back into the board. And there are heat sinks on my board, then they start burning, and next thing my board is gone. So those are the two errors you get if you don't connect your head well. The initializing error comes from the top pin, which is the left, if you didn't connect well. Okay. And then the error 16 comes from the bottom pin if I didn't connect well. Okay. So remember, you align first. Once they look aligned, then you push. There we go, that's aligned. Then you take the other one and put it on the right chip. Okay. Sorry, it's all good.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Should I ask you guys to put your own head here while we put everything else back?
Okay.
And then we finish up and then we go to the software side. But does this make sense? Let me give you a head. Sorry. Let me give you a head to actually put. Don't put that dirty.
Don't put that one. Get another key.
Let's use this one. We have a head here. It's a dummy head, but it works for what we want to do. Another thing, let me show you. Look at this head here. look at this head here. What is the difference when you look at it from the top? What is the difference between these two?
Is this XP 600?
Yeah.
Size.
This one has this cover, this one doesn't.
Yes, this one has a cover, this one doesn't. But it's all the same. I actually removed this cover. Why? On certain carriage bases, if you don't place this head well when you're screwing it, it can twist and this cover will peel. It will pull out on one side like this. It will just like open a little bit here. The moment it opens a little bit here, the cap will never be able to completely sew. It will always have an air gap. So you will be pumping, you'll be doing everything and nothing is coming, and it's a new head. But this thing is just offset. Especially if you buy refurbished heads, this part here can go out. So this part is not necessary for printing, it's just a protective measure. So what I then do is you unscrew it and then you take that part out. And then normally you should put back the screws. Just like this head was, I wasn't using it, but you put back the screws. And then you leave it without the cover, then it will have a perfect seal.
So you can actually do that with a new head.
Yeah,
You buy
because
a new head,
a lot of new heads, especially if you buy straight on AliExpress, this thing is not put properly. So it's a bit, it's not seated nice. It has an air gap here. The moment it has a gap here, whatever you do here, it will, and even when it's printing, some of that ink which is supposed to come out will keep going inside here. And it's dripping on the paper, all of that. So that's why I removed it.
Any reason why they put the cover?
Yeah, the cover is supposed to be protective. Like if your head bumps into
the cover is
anything.
supposed to be protected, but now there are people who refurbish
Exactly.
the
There are people who
heads.
refurbish. So by refurbishing the heads, they take this and then they put it. But then if you put it without, like, there's a machine that they used to seal it. If there's no compression, it will be open here.
Well, no problem if there's no this cover.
No, the machine prints. You just need to be careful that your head doesn't keep bump into it.
Especially for machines that have got sensors on the side.
Exactly. Yeah, then you're safe.
Yeah,
Does that
my
make
own-
sense?
My own have sensor.
Okay, good. So the other difference is, see, this one already has cables and there's still here. Silicone. So we would rather go for a system like this, so that we protect this and we don't need to buy this tape. Any head you buy from us will already be sealed. We don't sell heads like this. That's an important thing. Some people do it on their own. You put it and then you buy that bathroom silicone. Remember that white one?
The normal silicone.
Yeah, you can even use the normal silicone, but you want silicone that's not conductive. Well, I don't think any silicone is actually conductive. But what you're looking at, there's that white silicone that they use.
And the one for phones.
You get the one for phones. It's equally good. It works. But the thing is, you don't want it to be too hot to a point where it affects the circuits here. That's why it's
Epoxy will work.
yeah. Epoxy. But if you're gonna put silicone on your own, don't put silicone and then put the head right away. Put silicone and leave it for a whole day, so that all the water and moisture go out and it dries. Because you don't want any liquid here.
Okay.
Or you can just buy from us a head which is properly sealed. That's equally fine.
Yours now is still, you have to make a call out now.
No, you can put it on your own. You can definitely put your head on your own. The only challenge is, don't make someone else responsible for your mistake. Because then if you call us and you bent your board,
Yeah.
because you didn't align that, that's the challenge. That's why we're having these trainings, so that we don't have to struggle. Now, if I put my head, I'll tell you what normally kills this, or takes this thing out also, is when you're fitting your head. If I put it here, if I don't, the best thing, people, what they do normally, they just do this, and then they put the screw, then they start tightening one at a time. You want to put it and make sure it's level first, before you start tightening the screws. If you just put and tighten one side, by the time you tighten the other one, it will be seated like a little skew. And then that actually causes this cover to pop out. So you put it, make sure it's aligned, then you can put your screws. Can you guys tighten this and then put the connector, then mount it there, so that we finish up with the head fitting.
And then before you screw tight, you put on.
Let's go guys, we need to get to the main top part. For me, the part that is most concerning for me is I want to see you guys plug in the head chip, the head of the chip, because that is a big problem for you. It's not moving. Now, the most important part is the one I want to see now. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm also concerned on this one.
That's the most important part I need to understand. I need you to see it and do it properly. And it's also easy to peel those pins if you don't do it nicely. Oh,
You know, I wanted to ask you this question, right? But I noticed that it's labeled.
You have to write it.
Don't be afraid. If you make mistake, he's here to correct us. Yo, this thing make me not to touch my machine. I'm afraid I make mistake.
See, it's. I get what you mean, and it's good you want to call technician sometimes, but sometimes it's maybe 11 p.m. and there's an order that has to leave.
I don't think it's aligned.
Can you check?
You look at all the pins, the first and the last. Yeah. If you check the last, it wasn't.
Yeah, it's better now.
It's better.
You can do
No, I like it.
Nice. Let's try the other one. Who's trying the other one?
This one, my concern, this one, it goes like this, right?
No.
It goes like this.
Like this.
It goes like this, eh?
Yes. Looks can be deceiving, but
It looks fine. What does everyone else think? For you, it's okay. Let's see if it's okay or not. Alright, perfect. So, we said you get 2 errors if you misalign. If you misalign the top one, what error do you get?
it will keep initializing.
It'll keep initializing. If you misalign the bottom one, what error do you get?
Error 16.
Error 16. And that's only on a Senian system. There are other systems, like Horson Soft, PrintX. Yours, for the DTF, you have a PrintX system. It doesn't have any error codes like that. Just a different set of error codes. But for the Senian system, which most of us are using, it's those are the codes.
That blue one, what is it? Is it
Senian.
Senior also?
And then the other place to align, make sure that all your chip, none of these are bent, because it's easy for them to be like this. These pins, so you always make sure they're perfectly straight, and you align them with the part for the headboard here. So the whole point is firstly make sure they're aligned. Once they're aligned, then you push it down, and we're good.
On mine last time, it didn't give an error, no? But because this one was broken, it was not, the ink was not coming out. Yes.
Alright, so you've put everything now. So let's try and turn our machine on, but I'm going to remove the head because I know it's not working. Our dampers, there's a box that I came with. It's a white box somewhere. Do you guys see it?
So how do you know what system you're running?
You read the motherboard. It's written. It's also software, right? No, this is not the motherboard, this is the carriage board. I'll show you on the motherboard is on the side. Remember you have 2 boards. The top one is the headboard, the carriage board. The side one is the motherboard. It's normally at the side or at the back. That's the one. Oh, nice. Alright.
After a lot of it, Chinese guys went down. So I didn't have the software or anything. It's just how it's
Is it still there?
set there.
Really? Which size was it?
A3.
A3 UVDTF.
Yeah.
Bring it to us, my brother. We'll sort it out for you. We'll sort it out perfect. Alright. So, that box, there we go.
If the head is not here like this, you can actually switch it on and send
And you
the
can
job.
send the job. That's when those are what we call dry runs. That's when we're testing the machine, that's what we do. Before we send the machine to you, we do a dry run. Make sure that it's perfect.
Because the pump is in the right hand.
Yeah. Alright. Just take it. Okay. So far, how are we doing? Are we okay? Are we getting there?
Yeah.
All right.
As for us to build our own machine.
Now it's here. Alright, cool. Let me just put this chip back. There's a thing for here that you guys what is it?
The white one is there. Where? It's somewhere here. Behind it.
You removed it, you should know.
It's two of them.
Nah, it's just this one. Can I get the stuff?
Going to Facebook Market and start buying these
This thing, man. That's the whole game.
things. That man venturing is
By end of year, we could have a printer. Just buy it and then.
Let's buy the old
And when it gets to the electrical, then you'll be like, God, maybe the Y-axis motor is doing things.
Alright. Okay, so we're done with that stuff. Then the final part is the capping station. There are two types of capping stations. The machine we're going to use for actual printing is a different capping station. Normally, the older systems had what we called a collision capping station, which is the one that was it you who was changing that system. You saw that system is a bit different from this. So this system here is called a lift capping station. Why? Because it has a system that the motor goes down and up. That's the lifting part, lift capping station. So it needs a motor. The other system didn't even have a motor. It will just collide with the head. I'm going to show you that side. Until I'm coming that side now. Make sure you put the new cap. Okay, don't put the new cap, but I'm coming that side. Just make sure it's there. So the concept here is when you're also doing your service, if your pump is fine, right? All you want to do is make sure that you are changing when you want to change your cap. It has 4 screws, guys. It's a very basic thing. 4 screws, I take them all out. And remember, the cap matches the printhead. So if I have an i3200 head, I have a different cap. If I have a DX5 head, I have a different cap. Unless I have an industrial head, those ones don't need caps. They just sit in the air. Alright. Okay. And I'm going to remove my screws. Now there's a cap here. There's a cap that side. Can any one of us come and fit it? Cap, there are 2 pipes, right? And I have to just...
Actually, I think it might be there somewhere.
The cap?
Yeah.
Okay, it's behind you. There we go. So, when we say a cap is finished, what do we mean? What do you look out for? See this rubber sew here? This cap can probably still work, but because we're going to sell this as a new machine, we have to take out the cap. But do you see this? The rubber, so the ink eats away this rubber part. Nothing else, just the rubber part. The more it finishes, the harder it is for the head to cap and seal the head. The difference between the two, you see this one is higher than this one. So the newer cap has a higher rubber thing here.
So also it is an effect. Let's say you're printing something, right? You get noticing that the colors are fading. Let's say I'm doing something, I'm printing. The color is fading. I want to clean the head, but you still, if you cleaning, you still printing the same thing. Does it maybe it became problem or?
Re-explain it.
Because like this other day I was printing something, right? Yeah, it's changing the color.
So changing the color there, remember when the machine is printing, this guy is not involved anymore.
No, when I'm saying, after that I said, let me clean the
head.
But it keeps on.
So when you're cleaning the head, that's the next part we're coming to on the inking. When you're cleaning the head, the most important thing is to check when I'm running that manual pump. Is the ink coming out of the waste pipe? Is it a smooth flow? That's what shows me whether my cap is fine or not. If when I'm cleaning and I don't check here and I just hear the noise for the pump, then I'm like, yeah, sure, everything's okay. Then I'm not doing anything. Because the sound is not what tells you. The pump can be running, but the cap is not sealing properly. So if that's happening, then I need to make sure that I have a tight seal here. That's the most important thing. So for me to make sure that the seal is tight, it's an easy thing. I just run the manual pump and I check, is ink flowing out? If ink is it's not flowing out, then I have to do the alignment to make sure my cap and head are properly aligned. Are we together? Does that make sense?
Let me add one question. I have this submission pit. When I do test print on the second head, the black is not coming. Only black. I don't know what could be the problem.
It could be the head.
Yeah.
It could be the jump.
Most of the time it's actually the carriage. Because when you are cleaning, right, and remember he said, I just explain this. If you look at this too, this one is worn out, right? This one is still fine. So when the head is sitting on here, because there's a little bit of flexibility here, it's sealing the head 100%. Even if there's a small tilt on the head or on this, because there's a little bit of flexibility, it will seal. But if this one is hard, there'll be leakage of air on any of the corners. When that happens, because these inks are not, the viscosity of all these inks are not the same. The other ones will draw ink because it's easy for them to come, but black is hard.
That's why I
So
like
black
putting,
black
Them on the middle.
that's why I like putting black and yellow in the middle.
I think
Because these other ones, they have two. So I will make the main ones, the ones in the middle. This one and this one, I will make them lighter colors. In case there is air that gets in here. My main colors will still.
You would find that you will do a head clean, but other colors are fine. Black is not fine. It's not that your head is got a problem. It's because this thing is no longer selling 100% onto the
I
head.
think I have to change. I have to
So let me explain this to you. There are many factors that you explain, but the quickest way for you to check is not by assumption. If black is not coming out and it's on the last channel, just swap the black with any other damper, right? Swap it with cyan or magenta. Then do your clean, and then do another nose.
You have to make any setting.
Before you even go to the computer, just swap them and then do your manual pump here, your clean here. Once you clean again to make sure that all the new ink is where it's supposed to be, and then you do a clean nozzle, then you do a nozzle test. If the black which was not coming is now coming on another channel, but the other color which you put where the black was is no longer coming, then the issue is the head. But if the black which wasn't coming on the first channel, I've now moved it to the middle one and it's still not coming. The issue is the black. Whether it's the damper itself, is the pipe, is the filter, or is there's no ink, whatever. But the issue we know that it's not the head. Do you understand? So you swap the damper first. You do your clean, you make sure that, remember when you swap the damper, you just can't do one thing. You have to make sure you clear the ink. So you do like a manual clean for like 30 seconds, then another clean. You don't need to change in the system. You just need to see, your nozzle test is what tells you. So with the new nozzle test now, if the black which wasn't coming is now coming out, then you know that, okay, my black wasn't coming, now it's coming, so there's no problem with my black ink or anything like that. But this one which was on this channel is not coming. Then the issue is not that it's now, let's say I've put magenta where black was, right? And now magenta is not coming. It's not to say also that it's the head. But now I know that the issue is either the head going down. It could be the head or it could be the cap. Now it depends on where the magenta is. If it was on the last channel, then I go into the system and I align. Sometimes the head and the cap are not aligned properly. That's one thing I'm sure. Because if the head and the cap are not aligned properly, that's another thing. Also, it's a big deal. The head can be maybe to the side a little bit, and on the last two channels, you get an issue. All right. So let's do that part. Does anyone want to fit a cap, or it's a straightforward thing? When you look at your cap, I'll show you. There are different systems for caps, but the whole idea is the same. What happens is, it has a fat side and a thinner side, you see. If I place this cap like this, the thing is, when I put my screws, they will tie sometimes, but I will struggle a lot, and my cap will not be aligned at all, no matter what I do. So I have to make sure I match the holes here. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's number one. But two, which is very important for me, do you see that right under this, there is a metal plate here? So whatever I do here, this thing is not supposed to fully go, is not able to fully go down. Yeah. So my cap will always sit at an angle. Ideally, there needs to be a hole here. This is an old machine, so they hadn't thought about that. I don't know if you get what I mean. This is supposed to go in and fully, exactly, but it can't. It's always in the air. So my cap will always have an angle. If I don't want that, ideally I just take a blade, burn it, and I cut out this so that it sits flat. It's important that my cap sits flat. If I'm not going to make it sit flat, then whatever I do, I need to play with the screws to a point, and make sure that whatever come rain, come thunder, it's not exactly. That's a key thing. And then you just put your 4 screws and you lock them.
What if your base now? What if this base that you're not using as your data to flatten the cap is not flat?
If this base is not flat, in what regard? What exactly do you mean?
Like it can happen that this thing.
Oh yeah. Factory faults happen. Those are very
And they are
common.
always there with Chinese.
Yeah,
machines.
they're always there. So that's why the cap itself has a flexible top here. It has a spring. So you can get away. It was actually a question we asked before, and they were like, we thought about that. That's why we made sure that it does flip like when it goes to the top. So that even if this side touches first, but when it finally seals, if you keep pushing it up, it will always seal properly. So the offset will be there, but it won't be big to a point where the cap will sit like, so it will be compensated there. Maybe let me show you the difference. If I come here, this system, it's the same thing here, they also reflected that way. And these are all, I'm not supposed to say that, but these are all the same brand machine, the same brand machines. So these machines basically, look, as long as it's that differentiator in machines is not the body. The biggest differentiator in the machine is the control system you're using. Is it senior? That's the key differentiator in these machines. I want to show you another system. Come here, let me show you this one. This system here is called a collision system. Some systems still have this. I like this system more than the lift station because there are less components to change on your machine. It doesn't have a lift up or down station. This system is called a collision. So what happens is the head comes through, it hooks this thing and
Oh, then it lifts up the
so what I'm doing is it's coming here and then the moment it hooks, then the station comes up and it caps. It's an older system, but then it aligns. So when I want to align to adjust the position of my cap, I simply adjust the position of this plate. If I move it here, then the capping station comes to the right. If I move it the other side, that's the whole concept.
I wonder why they changed it.
It was a very, very simple system because there were less components on my machine. And anyone can play around with it. So this was a very simple. So when we get to, let's say, some motherboards, you can get there and then the motor's dead and then the guy is like, look, I don't have money for the motor, or maybe it's the motherboard channel which is not able to send the power to lift the station up and down. Those boards are a bit hard to fix. For a lot of people, we send them to China, they struggle. Then we simply just change the system to this collision system and then you just come together.
Which one is the newer one? This type of old.
This is the old system.
Oh, that's beautiful.
This is the old system, yeah, this is the old system.
So why did they change?
I'll show you why. No, it had its own problems. I'll show you why, because the machine we're going to use to print now, when we deal with the main top, has this system. But the cap here is a very simple, it's still XP600. So the cap is just, you see, it's just a little bit different in terms of the mechanism, but the size is the same as the one for the lift station. This system is still 2 pipes come into the cap, then they come here. When you are pumping and nothing is coming out, a key thing people never check is sometimes it's very possible, especially if after a technician has left your place. Maybe they just left yesterday or the day before, and it's simply not pumping. You're pumping, but nothing is coming out. And the head and the cap, you see, they're aligned, but nothing is coming out. You can just pop up and check. Is this pipe in? It's very easy for the technician to put it halfway. Maybe it was by mistake, they were in a hurry, and then it didn't fully go in. And if this pipe is loose, that's it. You are not pumping it at all.
Also, this one didn't have the lifting.
No, yeah, this one is a collision one. So let me show you on the lift how do you adjust. But this one, none of you have this system, so you won't really have to worry about it. Let's work with what you have so that I give you useful information. But the concept is the same. From here, it goes onto the pump, and then the pump takes it to the waste bottle. Straightforward system. I want to show you how to align the cap in the head because that's a big thing that people struggle with. Let's do it on. Let me just do it on this one. One element is the bit to the right, which means it may actually be not exactly the center of my head, and I could not be having color on my last channel because the noses are supposed to be inside here, not like under the rubber exactly. Does that make sense to you? So when I'm pumping and nothing is coming out,
first thing I check is alignment. Normally you won't be able to see it this way but you should just check under it. You want to see it in the center of the printhead. So if I take a printhead now and place it here, where that printhead we had,
Yeah, it's in.
that's fine. I'll put this one here. Did you put it on the charge this one? Okay. All right. Now look. My head is going to be here. How does the head sit? This way or this way? Which way? This way. Are you sure it's not this way? All right. So my head sits this way. Right. And I check underneath here. I can now see thoroughly. Is it the center or not? I can see that it's a bit to the right side of the head. So how do I fix it? Can someone go into the system, go to menu? Yeah, that's menu. Then let's go to setup menu. Let's get in there. We have a video on this already also, so don't worry too much. Go to the last option, we say station setup. There we go. Let's get in there. Now, we want to fix the position of the station, right? Or what else do you want to fix?
That's position station.
Right. There are two ways to fix the station position. We can get into here. Just say, okay, let's get in the station position. You see the station goes down, the capping station goes down. And now we can adjust sideways. So I wanted the station to come a bit to this side. So let's move it, Mr. Bruce.
This side.
Yeah. Maybe too much. Somewhere there. I think.
One step.
Just a tap. Yeah, a tap like this. And then the challenge with it is it can't come up for me to be sure enough that it's at the center if you come to station position. But let's say this is the center. Then I just press enter to save. And then exit. Exit again. Now it's going to come up and I'll see whether I'm happy or not.
Exit.
Now you can leave it here, it will still come up. There we go. And anytime this month, sir, you can come up. Let me see. Let's just leave it. Some late station cap hit. Okay. There we go. It's more at the center now. But there's an easier way to do it. Let's go back to that setting. Are you checking? Are you seeing what? We're going to the menu? And we're just reading that. No. We're in setup menu. Yeah. It's not about AM. This is Senyan. So if you mention the brand, it doesn't, even Zoomjet has the same system. So it's not about AM, it's not about Ying, local, it's about, is it Senyang, is it Bosonsoft, is it what? That's the most important thing. Station setup, yes, let's get in it. Can you go to cap height? Keep going down. Yes, let's get in there. So on cap height, it actually allows us to lift the cap and then adjust this. So I can see better that I'm at the center or not. It's the same thing on Hososoft. Just that on Hososoft, you do it on the computer. I'll show you how to get into that, and then you also adjust it here. Right, now that we are here, if I am happy with this, then I raise the cap to where I want it. The cap also, the height of the cap is really important because if the cap is just up enough to touch the head, but it's not up enough to seal the head, then I'm still not going to be able to do. So I also need to play with the height of the cap. So if I lift my cap, normally I play with this. If you see this bar here, there's a triangle on the side here. I need to make sure that it's straight. That's the utmost position the cap can be. Do you see it? If I do this, it's twisted. Do you see it's at an angle? But the more I push this up, now it's straight. You see that? Okay, cool. Good. It must be straight, yes. Ideally, it touches the head and then you keep it until it's straight. If you're struggling with whatever setting you have now. After this, if I press enter to save, I have two things to save. You can save the height of the cap, which is what this being straight thing is. And also you can also save the position of the station, which is the sideways. This is ideal. Exactly, at once. And you can actually be able to raise like that when we weren't able to raise the station. And that's how you adjust your position. Now let's go to a machine with ink and we do the pumping, and then we just show you a few things on main top and we are out.